Good afternoon slash evening slash morning slash time zone, everyone. OBS, do you want to realise that we're doing stuff today? Please?
Heck.
There we go. There we go. Right, let's address the waves. Hello, Drayson. Hello, Balbler. Hello, Deadops. Hello, Rack. Hello, Mike. And I'm being eaten.
No.
Hello, Mateo. Hello, Joey. Hello, Danny. Hello, Jag. Hello, Rex. Crystal, thank you for the 10 stream watch streak. And I see hello, Meme Overlord as well. Not with the wave, but with the message. We are back with more Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, or Stanley Parable 2 as it has transformed into during our first session. Excuse me, I have been eating crackers. And they're all stuck in my teeth. Okay, I think I can speak straight now.
57 sent 25 bits and said, "My friend dipped his testicles in glitter. Pretty nuts. RIGHT6.
Ooh, the 6 instead of the question mark kind of messed that one up, but otherwise, ha.
This
Right.
is the story of a man named Stanley.
We know. So, we have a lot more endings to discover in this. Hello, Dar, how you doing?
All of his co-workers were gone.
And I will
What could
stretch
it mean?
and hydrate.
Stanley
Thank you
decided
very
to go
much.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, we went really quickly into the Ultra Deluxe content, so... Oh, good gosh, we're getting all the redeems immediately. Oh, hi, Annie. Are you on hotel Wi-Fi? I think that's a cracker crumb. Right, show and tell is happening early today. And I'm a healer Lisk. You sure are, which means you can't stay. Well, it's good to have you popping in, Annie. So, today's show and tell is a little different. Because I only had 2 Digimon cards arrive today, and that doesn't constitute a show and tell. Not boosters, singles. 2 cards, so I gotta do something that isn't Digimon cards for once. So, we have a kitchen implement that I recently inherited, as it were. And I find that a lot of people have never seen them before, so... This is the Diablo. My mother used to swear by this thing. Named as such, of course, because of these little horns. But it is, in fact... a toasted sandwich maker for the stovetop. Of course, my mother would just call them Diablos. And the idea is simple. You make a sandwich in this little round divot. You heard about this, wasn't it made by Blizzard? No. There is no workplace harassment involved in this. I hope. So yeah, piece of bread, you put your meat, your cheese, whatever you want, and then you close it shut, trim the edges, eat the edges, don't be wasteful, and you just put it on the stovetop, flip it, flip it, flip it, until you have a golden brown toasted sandwich with melty insides that burn the inside of your mouth.
I can add stream place harassment though, you delectable Lisk.
Oh, Miko, you are going to prison. Oh well. But yeah, it's a shame. My brother really wanted this, but he has a induction hob, so it doesn't actually work. Whereas I have an old electric, so it does work. I currently lack bread, but it's easier for me to get bread than it is for him to get an electric stove. So yeah, it is in fact a devilish kitchen tool. And I will probably use it eventually if I buy sandwich ingredients. I need to get better with buying food that isn't frozen. I've really been slipping. But yeah, it's very cute. It's very cute. And devilish. So that's show and tell. Put that away. Back. How dare. Okay, so we need to discover more endings. So I think we're just going to start doing stuff regularly, and then immediately following up with the Ultra Deluxe variant by grabbing the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This should be pretty simple. I'm thinking we'll go with escaping. Let me know if you need any hints. Will do, Danny. Will do. Because it has been a very long time.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
I thought we'd slowed down enough.
For a few moments with some calming new age music.
Oh, I never did hydrate. Thank you. Oh. Just some decaf tea today.
Feeling soothed,
I have enough caffeine already.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Good gosh. Today has been extremely lazy.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest.
Yes, narrator, we've been through this like more times than any other sequence.
The nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay. So, first variant of this ending.
Through the large door that read
through the
Mind
escape
Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall,
Stanley started to
would
question,
meet his violent death.
Am I a
violent
snack?
death? What?
Or a full-course meal? Only Miko knows.
Miko is very smart. Miko knows a lot of things.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Joke's on you, narrator. I'm into vor.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Damn right. Whee! Oh my god, Pokehead, I did get the broom closet ending. Honestly, peak gaming. The peakest of gaming. That broom closet did not know what hit it.
Was inched closer and closer to his demise. He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Hey, how you doing, Sandwich Press?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal doors. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh. Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes
before
Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Shows the office from the beginning of the game. First part was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. Core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Pacing of this corridor section was important to get right. It has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. I think the real Stanley parable is the friends we made along the way, honestly. Set of 2 open doors was the very first concrete piece of Stanley Parable's design. Once it was created, the rest of the game emerges as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Oh my god, my desk. Oh my god, doors. A selection of button sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Oh my god, filing cabinets? Yo! And computers? Save electricity. No one's here. Oh. Credits. Oh, we do have console development there, so this has been updated since the original release when it wasn't on consoles. Yo. I'm not sure which way is gonna end it and which one isn't, so let's see what's over this way. The boss's office. So I guess it's this one, then this one, then this one. Yo, clock! Excellent.
Stanley pushed the big red button.
The lounge, the underground. Nice clock. Oh, the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Cool. The freedom ending in beta. Okay, so that's the point of no return down there. Oh, with the exit sign. Yeah, you know, that tracks. Since the level got William Hyde to design the full game, but much of the environment has changed, the basic layout is still in the game. Cool. Oh. Oh, the cubicles. The evolution over time. November 2011, March 2012, and February 2013. So, yep, that's a simple desk. I got a bigger desk for this one. And, yeah, that's only a slight reshuffle. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection. Huh. Lost a mug, didn't need to. I mean, that's just wrong. I don't care about these. I mean, I have 2 mugs that I use on the regular. I have my Sushi Fur coffee mug and my Poss Pal tea mug. We designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The extra game would become sentient, would wage war against the narrator. It was far too jokey and on the nose. And people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters. Alien base. Awesome. Yeah. We announced the Ultra Deluxe version. These are screenshots of the videos we made for this announcement and the game's delay. I remember the delay announcement. The delay announcement was a video that was full of what I believe were fake emails stating, "Oh, please delay the game, it's all we want," and the narrator being, "Okay, if you insist." It was very good. Previous version that traces into the apartment ending. I haven't seen that. Okay. Yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff we have not seen yet here. Maintenance layout, meeting room. That just looks like Portal. Oh my god. Player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what colour they had pulled. There's a jab at Mass Effect. Have I forgotten all the endings? Yeah, I think I have. It has been a good number of years. It only ended when the player restarted the escape maze. Very few people realised that was what they were supposed to do. Oh my god, T, how you doing? I love it when more birds are in chat. Honestly, birds, very good quality for a stream to have. And Danny pulling out that quote. Thank you, Danny. Have I been this way already? Ah.
It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you being you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. Well, try the other one then.
Okay.
When Stanley came to the lift, he travelled upward to the power source at the top of...
I'm done here. Let's look for the exit. Ah, it was here.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Ah, so it was going to be 3 levers.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
Nom.
Is this an achievement? No, it's not.
Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Squimsh. Crackers. Right, let's do it with the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
That we need
Stanley
to find a
decided
bucket.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Not like that,
and
pal.
entered the door on his left.
It's a bucket, not a fuck it. God damn it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Yes.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
I can't believe we're going to fuck the bucket.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Hi, Bree.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I'm willing to make that risk.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I cannot believe they re-recorded all of these lines just to add "and the bucket" and change it from he to
Stanley
they.
and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
It's so much extra work. Okay. How will this differ? How will this differ?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Okay.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
What about Stanley?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
What the heck? It's entirely about the bucket. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit?
Colin just brought 41.
Oh, yo! Just Colin, thank you for the raid. Good gosh. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Azzy. I'm a gay dragon variety streamer on the internet.
Oh gosh,
currently,
just follow.
Yeah, playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe for the first time. Thank you for the follow, I'm Liquid. Hope everyone's doing great. Hope everyone is doing great.
Hey Azzy.
Good gosh, good to see you all.
Just
good
gave
to
you
see
a
you
follow.
all. Crowhawk, thank you for the follow. We are currently looking at an exhibit on the bucket. Very much enjoying the game, thank you. This is our second stream of it.
That sounds awfully draining.
With the puns, we have guests, and you're bringing in the puns. Okay, Danny. Right, let's keep viewing the bucket exhibit. Let's keep having some fun here.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
That's a bit offensive. But yes, everyone is welcome to join in and hang around. And, Carlin, I do hope that you have a good bit of post-stream self-care. Get hydrated, get your limbs all limbered up, get a good stretch in, maybe get some food, get some rest if it's late for you. You just take care of yourself, and thank you for sharing with your community with me. Ooh, hydrate. Thank you, Vite. And a stretch, much appreciated. And hello, 26, welcome in. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Good gosh. Good gosh. And... oh! I'm so sorry, 26. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. And I'm a mouse. Except that's way more than 25 buckets. There's at least 100 there. How shocking. How shocking. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can... Troll a bucket. Ah! I'm abused. The stress bucket, an analogy.
While Ezzy learns how lowly and delicious he is in comparison to the almighty bucket, it's time for today's sponsor.
Ugh, we don't have a sponsor.
Introducing an alternative to Pop-Tarts.
No sponsor.
Come buy Mom Tarts, sold at every proper store. Half of the profits will go to feminist charities to fight against the patriarchy.
The patriarchy. Oh my god. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Deer also enjoy the bucket. Mike is bucket approved.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Okay, into the hole. Oh.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision of the...
Bucket wins! Good gosh. Yeah, I feel like the bucket died as well, but okay then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Still don't know how to progress that. Okay. So I think this time...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This time I think we take the elevator across from the boss's room.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Doing all the left door stuff first. We've done the broom closet ending. Riveting. I'm sorry, did they whisper Stanley? We have done the broom closet bucket ending. The narrator is humming along.
Stanley, you smell.
I'm sure Stanley is very... Are you telling me the elevator has no purpose? Or, like, do I have to wait a really long time? Oh, the elevator has no purpose. Okay. Fine. Oh, I can't go back either. Ah! Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I know there's more endings on the left I haven't done. I'm gonna take a wild guess that taking the bucket into the elevator won't change anything.
Gurgle for me, Koopa.
Oh, I guess Danny can't help me anymore.
No.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
We found it. That's an awfully well-lit letter.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Oh God, we're playing
made
PT.
any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Oh,
no,
God.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
That's reassuring.
He thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, yeah. We're a
Then
little
he
higher.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Oh, shit.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
You are, in fact,
And
Buckets
while he thought it all
approved, Mike.
very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I could probably just stand still, couldn't I?
He closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Stanley going
Let
EB.
me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Oh, Stanley has a wife.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Alternate universe, Jim.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
that's all you need.
Someone tell me I am real.
If you have a boss and an office, you're real.
Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Okay.
This is
Go
the
get
story
her.
of a woman named Mariella.
What? Thank you for the
Mariella
watch
woke up
streak.
on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her
Oh my
place of
god.
work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
My
Although
god.
she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well. Well. Hey. Hey, everybody. Hey, guess what? Flicky's making his stream debut in a few hours. Follow him.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
follow the good bird. A space bird with a cute visor. Oh, the layout changed. Ah!
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I wanted the bucket. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We can do this. We have the bucket with us.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
Thank you,
That's
buckets.
strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
Is the bucket behind it all?
Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Stanley, that's my piss bucket.
No!
Give it back.
No!
I think there's still a bit of Ezzy in there.
What the fuck?
Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
That's what the bucket sounds like?
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket.
God, there's buckets everywhere!
None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
Oh no!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh, what?
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
I swear, if it's just Stanley, but he's got a bucket for a body, or like a bucket-shaped body.
She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security,
as
and
you do,
to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Didn't feel like animating that one. Oh my good gosh. 26, I know you're upset you missed show and tell. So it's this. It is a toasted sandwich maker I inherited recently. Sandwich goes in here. Press tight. Trim off the edges. Hold over the stove, flipping as needed. Boom. Toasted filled sandwich. Bam. Ooh. Sippy, thank you, Rack. Big stretch. There we go.
My tummy. The final frontier.
No, Flicky has to stream later. Miko, don't eat him.
Nom.
Fuck. Hello and Big O. Welcome in. Good to see ya. I think that's everything to the left.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meet.
What did I miss? I do need hints. I want to do everything to the left first. Ah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The elevator does have a bucket variant?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay. So far this is nothing. I am starting to think that I'm incorrect in thinking that this was the hint. Char, welcome in. Yeah, I mean... Maybe I do have to wait a very long time. Maybe the song has a certain length. Maybe I'm just here now. Maybe this is the stream. The elevator is a joke, okay. No, don't say my name like that. Okay. Up or down, up or down, up or down.
Azzy.
Miko, don't. Right, I can't go back. Have I gone past it? Oh. Got the third input.
The Mox sent
I have not
100
gone
bits and
past
said,
it.
Office,
Azzy.
Stanley was
Hey!
once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for this. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket
The
knew
Mox
all
sent
along?
100 bits and
Was
said,
the bucket
for Azzy.
guiding him?
No.
Yes. This
Not
is
for Ozzy
certainly the
either.
most logical explanation.
Oh, god damn it, Belle. Well, I tried to go up. Can I go back up? Is that a thing?
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Wait, do the no bucket first? Oh, this is... Okay. But I'll take your word for it.
My God, the bumpscosity in here is absolutely overwhelming. 1,000? You people have got to be nuts. How can you stand this much bumpscosity?
We did in fact set it to 1,000. Oh my god.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
26, I skipped that because you work there and I didn't want to bother you. You're a busy mouse.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay. Okay, fair play. We're getting the abridged Stanley experience because we've been through it enough times.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out. Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow.
Yeah, we're doing
I'm
great.
bolted to the edge of my seat.
Is that it? Oh. Is that it?
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
All right.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Wait, you never know. Holy shit, the boss's office!
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
I will sippy, thank you. And stretch.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Ugh, okay. Alright, we're ready to move on.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it?
Ooh,
I mean,
a tasty
sure,
deer.
now it's obvious,
Oh, bye,
but you have
Mike.
to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling.
As you can
that
see,
has grown
Fubar,
stale
we
and
are
repetitive.
amazing innovators in the world of story and narrative. Oh, silence.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible.
Oh,
They
goodness.
want big, explosive
I'm at the edge of
moments
my seat.
flung right in their
This is
faces
too intense
from the
for me.
very moment that things
I'm
get
freaking out.
started.
Calm down, Miko.
Where's
It's
the
okay.
tension? Where's the trust in the audience?
We'll
to
get
build
through
a
this.
slow and
We'll
nuanced
find out what's at the
appreciation
top.
for the story, the characters. Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to
Hi,
think
Noodle.
and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there.
Catter
You see,
85
I
sent
want
100 bits
stories
and
that
said,
surprise me,
Oh,
Stanley.
thank you, dear.
I want to have to think.
I appreciate
I
it.
want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it.
What a thrill.
Which is why we're so
With darkness and
starved for
silence through the
content
night.
that makes us feel
What a
sharp
thrill.
and vital.
I'm searching and I'll melt
alive.
into you.
That's why people
What a
like
fear
you
in
so
my
much,
heart,
Stanley.
but you're so
because you're not
supreme.
afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well,
I've gathered a little press conference for you.
A press conference?
You can talk about your work and your storytelling and your
Damn it,
life.
Jag.
Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
Oh.
Oh, good, we're here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
World's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed, how we did it, the pyramids. Live, the guy who went to Mars. Oh, and he's pointing at himself so we know he's the guy who went to Mars. I had all eyes on Stanley, live on stage. An evening with world peace, baby. He's not so great.
Yes, here it is, just through this door.
Q&A with world's first sentient machine. The Stanley Parable Stanley, tonight, live on stage. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable. Oh. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
The Lord, meet and greet. Oh, we have dressing room 427. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from, your co-workers. Oh, I want to read those. Okay, we have the storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. Break a leg, champ. Your exes. I love the way you ride elevators. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife from the apartment ending. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get him, Tiger. Stanley, me. Can't tell the kid's name, age 6. Oh, and Stanley's talking about story. Thanks for showing me that school skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on the stage. Rock on. Break a leg, champ, your boss. Oh, it's not X's, it's boss. And it's there twice. How did I read that as X's? I'm very good at reading. Incredible linguistic talent. An audience with the dude who came up with pizza. Yo! Oh, God! I feel like I'm coming out with the steel chair. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, welcome, Stanley, to heaven. It's just... Are these buttons? Oh my God, they're buttons. I want to press all the buttons. I want to press all the buttons! Oh God, there are so many.
How odd, Noodle. I wish I knew what was going on with your version of the app.
Nico sympathizes with Noodle's Twitch app problems. Oh, they unpress. They unpress after a while. What do I do? What do I do? You just stay here pressing button until you're content. Okay, begin the game again. Now, I have considered another ending.
Gone. What could it
Wait.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to get up on the... Oh, there we go.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
What?
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
What?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
Smash.
No, said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
What? What?
My God.
What?
Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
What? What? Okay, that's just a fast track to heaven, so that's that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is it raining in the void?
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket. A bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his
Thank
back.
you.
Hey, Cyrax. Hope you're doing well. And Vagra, welcome in. Somewhere both red and blue are large room, lots of boxes.
It's raining in the void. The rain in space stays mainly on your face. Your face? Come on, get out of my bucket.
What the heck? Hydrate and stretch, thank you.
Upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, Flicky would like that, wouldn't he?
That's too much hydration for me.
Ugh. Oh gosh. So, I'm hearing that Palworld just got a release date.
Stepping into his manager's office,
oh boy,
Stanley
it is
was once
soon.
again stunned
It is
to
so
discover
soon.
not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Wouldn't that be
Was
beautiful,
it the
ahoy?
bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
See, I would... like, I kind of really want to get that game. I can't see it being entirely bad. Like, even if it sucks, I think it'll be funny.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
But, like, I don't know, I'm wondering if it's going to be one of the first games I get on launch in a long time. And, like would that be a stream people would watch? If I just got Palworld on launch, like, I take the brunt of that expense.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Not sick of the number 3 yet. I just need a while. Okay, I'm content. Bah.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something.
Oh, god damn it,
Perhaps it had
Scythe.
not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Ah, bah.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Typical bucket giving us the silent treatment.
Maybe the real ending of this game is all the friends we ate along the way.
I haven't been eating any friends. Miko, what have you been doing? Miko?
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
God, I mean, the last ending we murdered the bucket. I feel like we're about to do the same here. Or have a terrible breakup.
So close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Surely.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it.
So
then
we end up doing the same thing,
his joy through
but with
the
the
eyes
buckets.
of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
3.
This was it. One last chance to win the
3
bucket
again.
over.
3 again. The Stanley
One opportunity
story.
to share a true connection with a loved one.
That's a lot of 3. Oh. Can I read this? 3. That's the magic number. Yes, it is. A shockingly 3-dimensional character. 3 stars from 3 Star magazine.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over.
He advertised for months.
Uninteresting. He was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the
Get off
bucket
the
would
fucking
never
stage.
again take him
Oh,
seriously.
Miko, no!
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began slowly over many years. The two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Still not talking. There's 2 more endings on the left?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
How are there 2 more endings on the left? I definitely need hints. There's something on the table?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Do I then walk away? No. The black void instead of the white one. Black void instead of the white one.
Here's the door, just go.
Black void instead of the white one. I feel like I've passed both of these already. I must have.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
See, it sounds like I need to get to a point and then go back, but I can never go back.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, it's not that. Aha! No? Good form, wrong door. So we've just locked ourselves into that. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, this is the first door that closes.
When Stanley came to a set of 2
Nope.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No! God damn it. Ah.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Let me
office.
through! Okay. Hey, Proto Fluffy.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Can you mind your hint? I don't want to go to the boss's office. God damn it. And when I was standing in the boss's office, you said I passed it. So I have to try all the doors before the move. Ah. Because the door was closed.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
No! No! God damn it.
I can't wait to tell this
You have to
story
be
to my
so
co-workers,
precise.
Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing?
Good gosh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Just speed running this.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Here's the door, just
go. He has to say, here's the door, just go.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think I'd take longer restarting the game, honestly.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Why have I only managed it with this door? Couldn't replicate it.
Here's the door, just go.
Ah! Why is it this difficult if it's an ending you can get?
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand.
Okay, fine. Reopening. Come on.
I am going primal. I will rip these fucking doors in half and eat their wooden insides.
What could it mean?
Miko language.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Foot spot!
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Just couldn't stand there being a word other than 4 in a message.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into...
Okay. Okay, so this is us just deciding, yeah, fuck it. We're going all the way back. The lack of narration is concerning. Oh. You are now leaving. Escape pods? Oh, okay, we have to climb a lot of stairs. I played Final Fantasy VII. I know how this is. Well. We are seeing the same offices over and over again. Oh, there we go. I don't like this. Ah, probably a jump scare. Oh. Again with the
all of his co-workers
bucket, I guess.
What could it mean?
The narrator didn't
Stanley
say
decided
anything.
to go to the meeting room.
The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh, I hope I can get it first time. That door is a pain.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply...
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those.
Stanley
no, he
clutched
won't.
the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Good gosh. Good gosh, good gosh, good gosh.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping in...
Confidence. Just confidence. Ba, 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 ba. I swear, if the bucket changes absolutely nothing. Hydrate, thank you, Deluxe. Stretch. Thank you kindly. Okay. It could noodle. Maybe we'll find Gordon Freeman, our best friend.
Doing all of these endings twice, talk about a bucket list.
God damn it. So far it's exactly the same. At least I have a click button. Okay, here we are, back at the escape pod launch bay. Back to the SCP corridor. The exact same thing is happening. Oh? What? What? Is this against TOS? Refuses to elaborate.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay.
What did it mean?
So now
Stanley
there's
decided to go to the meeting. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What? Oh, very few of the endings have continuity like that.
Came to a set of 2 open doors.
Okay, so sometime after the boss's room, there's a black void. Something about a black void.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute
Danny,
to
just let me know if I'm walking past it.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Yeah, we vibe a little. Oh, goddammit, Noodle.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Appa. Okay, so... I don't think it's here.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I get a bit of lift walking here. Not enough.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley
That's a pretty
thought to
black
himself.
void.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh. Hey!
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go.
Thank you.
New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content?
Do love consuming content.
More content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you.
Oh
That's
my God.
how special you are.
I'm so special.
We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Ooh, excellent.
Good job. You did it.
Yeah.
Good job. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. You made it to the bottom of the mind control facility.
I know, yeah.
You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful.
I should have been.
It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good
Yeah.
job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job,
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
As he dirt more like cutie dirt got him.
What the hell? Hi, Rebecca.
You did it.
I did it. Right, we're taking the bucket with us.
A soft wind
If the
blew
bucket's
outside
back.
and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Replacement bucket.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Good gosh. Good gosh. Right. I want the bucket cover. Can't stay, you're unwell, but you hope stream goes well. Thank you, Rebecca.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs
Try to get
the
cozy
boss's
and
office.
well.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Yes, it was all the buckets.
Guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
True.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Thank you, it's good to hear that.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Not even turning the lights on this time.
Just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below.
Yes, tripped.
Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Is it okay?
Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here.
Wait, how comfortable?
So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit cold, perhaps.
Where did we get the couch?
After some time had gone
Oh,
by,
God.
they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
Paninis are good.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some
What?
time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all.
That we are
He'd
in.
never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was
That's the
dwelling
freedom
on his
ending.
regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected
What?
the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket.
What?
Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path.
It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground.
Good God.
The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
Oh. Right, is that everything on the left then?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All innings on the left, hooray! Let's do something insane. Let's go to the right.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all.
We haven't seen this room yet, so yeah.
This immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Coffee.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Coffee nut. Ooh, sit, thank you.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
To be clear, I have played the Stanley Parable before. This is just my first time with the Ultra Deluxe.
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy,
so I just did everything on the left first.
On his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Yes, 26? Ooh, stretch, thank you.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Although, to be fair, I've forgotten, like, everything about it, so it's all still funny to me. 26, are you mousing me? Ugh. Bones. Okay. Game is in fact trying to send us a message.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room, and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Nom.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
If I just continue on, it is going to just continue as normal, so I'm gonna...
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Come on.
Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Nice truck.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
It's not my normal form.
It's all
How dare.
rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to
now
go to
we
the
just do
meeting
the
room.
same thing with
Perhaps
the
he had
buckets?
simply missed a memo.
Wait. Was the bucket meant to be there? The bucket was meant to be there. Where'd the bucket go? Are we still in the same ending? Oh.
When Stanley... Wait.
Oh.
What? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
That wasn't a
Did you
bucket.
move the story somewhere, or a... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Is this the back rooms? I'm sticking to my right. I know this was...
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No, don't. I'm exploring.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to
We're
go to
still
the
here.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I'm remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Yeah, sure.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
We're going in
Wait,
circles.
never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Oh,
you know what?
door's
Since
gone.
I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Yay!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Hey, I worked very hard.
Win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this
I'm not
place is.
flustered.
I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
I love that they added the
Just
2 to
follow
the
line.
texture.
How simple is that?
Okay, let's follow the adventure line.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way,
God damn it,
is
Noodle.
the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, Are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh, yeah. Oh god, it goes everywhere. Wait. Wait, was that a different room? No. What just happened there?
Cut the music.
Oh.
Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
Okay.
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable.
Doable is good.
Simply start wandering in. Well,
I can relate with doable.
How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Dragons.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
It's got dragons.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms.
Maybe it'll take us to dragons, though.
We should be fine.
Ooh.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
Which one has dragons?
We mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Oh.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay.
Hold on, what's this? A confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all
Wait, we get restarted,
determined?
The narrator forgets about
So now,
them.
according to the schedule, I
We
restart
can't,
again.
sorry,
Then
unable
what?
to do
Am I just
anything, game
supposed to forget?
restarts. Find
Well,
the
I
line
don't want to
again,
forget.
follow it again.
My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this.
Alright, it
this
restarts
thing.
again. No office,
Wall.
black space, wander in
Well,
the... Find a
consulted me.
bookstore.
Why don't I get to
Restart.
decide? Why don't I
Stanley
decide all
dies.
of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this.
Oh, both doors led here.
I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Oh.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
We can jiggle this one, but not the other.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now.
Let's hope.
We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
I suppose.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
No! Do not do that! The bucket's back. Look through the windows? Which windows? Oh.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Okay. What am I meant to be noticing? Oh, there he is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
Okay, so we did do the full thing. Okay, cool. Let's take the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Absolutely.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Good old buckets. Isn't this a lovely place to be? Truly excellent.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure.
Exactly.
Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a
Good
thrilling
times.
journey the bucket had inspired.
Yep, truly excellent.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Perhaps we'd have to ask the bucket.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge.
Of
Clearly,
course.
the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
They clearly did. I think that was the last bit of dialogue. Oh, god damn it, Sire.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Bah.
Oh, good Stanley.
No.
I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh.
No.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you.
Is this an
Stanley.
intervention?
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
So we have a mannequin, our computer, a pencil sharpener, the broom closet, the baby that we haven't met in this playthrough. Okay.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yay!
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember
Give
all
us the
those
music
great
back.
jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Oh.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
This is incomplete.
Hey Azzy, RAZN0V just gave you a follow.
Rasnov, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Hope you enjoy your time here. Oh.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
The Bucket Destroyer!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
This is very elaborate.
What the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
Does it make coffee?
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No, I'm still trying to guess.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now! The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh!
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye.
New friend, for the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh. And the slow fade out. So now we do it again.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can...
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the
Let's go kill a bucket again.
Stanley had felt the bucket calling
but with the bucket destroyer's help.
That the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
What a thrill.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know.
Only we had a skip button,
but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story
Nothing bad
involving
full
the
of a
Adventure
skip
Line?
button.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Is it the drugs and hookers?
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Okay, let me in.
I think it'll make a wonderful
let me end the
new
bucket.
addition to the rich lore of the
Let me
Stanley
murder.
Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Let me at him. Let me at him.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
It follows twitch.tv/AzzyDurg.
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer
I don't think Stanley will do it.
Your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance
so
that
let
it's
it crush
really
the bucket,
like 10
then.
personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not.
There's
I
no
wonder
jump
what sort
button.
of Bucket Destroyer merchandise
You can't actually crush it.
For after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer.
Okay, fine. Different ending without the bucket then.
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Okay, so
when Stanley came to a set
right.
of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, we didn't.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death.
Look, Stanley,
Wait.
I think perhaps we've gotten off, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
I saw a bobblehead.
Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I saw a figling.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through...
Okay, we'll take the bucket and we'll jump off after getting the figure.
Delicate, assertive, yet compact. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the
Yes, a Stanley.
But Stanley had
True.
felt the bucket
True.
calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Hydrate, thank you, Rex. On to my water now. Sippy. Yeah, that lighting's a bit wrong, isn't it?
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anlarines. Very soon,
Your
you'll collect the
Anlarines?
last one. And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all.
Yes.
You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anlarines. None of us can.
Truly excellent. And then there's no way up, is there's a vent? What? Oh. Cassettes.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
Oh.
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And
What?
the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so...
It isn't actually Noodle.
What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Oh no.
Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful. Because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What?
Camporata.
Wait, the name from earlier? Oh god damn it, Annie.
Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly need. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be
so
correct?
this is the one where I'll dive off the edge with the bucket.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Thank you, Draysend, for the Tier 1 gift sub to Stanley Bucket.
Thank you for the gift sub, Draysend. This is new.
What did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Vent
Perhaps he wanted
without
to
the
stop by the
buckets.
employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge.
I wonder if it's still in Australia.
Business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Take
left.
care, Annie. Thanks for popping in again.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the... You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly, trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
Lost cat, there is a reward. Gene.
I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
The narrator gets sad ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nara!
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
It was okay?
To get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh, I can't even. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
How? No buckets past this point. That'll be interesting.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Stiggly Wigglies, I think you'll find.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Void.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Yeah, no, okay. I don't know how many variants of this there are, but surely returning is one of them. Oh, it got way prettier.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Okay, we're going back there.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Okay, we'll go back then.
You are going to stay here, aren't you?
No.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you?
Oh, why didn't you say so? No dialogue? Okay. Danny.
No! Oh, thank God you lived.
Stop.
You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Okay.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
No, I'm here for the dialogue, buddy.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Does all of this happen if I choose the blue door as well?
No, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Oh, so the blue dot is different. Okay, so 4 endings and all with the bucket. Gotcha.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
And yeah, staying on the cargo elevator is even more potential endings. Good gosh.
No, perhaps not.
A lot to go through. A lot to go through.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Jeez, Ezzy, and I thought I was sadistic. You're horrible.
Whee!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
I'm just teasing you, but let's see where this goes.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
Yeah, you're right. I am gonna walk out. God, we have gotten slower and slower. Probably on account of the broken legs. God, the stairs look longer every time I get here. Let's go for a 4th bow. And down we go.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, now let's do...
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh, no.
I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
I was so ready to do it again with the bucket. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Ah! They're gonna play the song again. Okay, so we're going down in this staircase that wasn't here before.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure,
We were
it said
hoping
6 right
6.
there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
It's over here. Oh,
And
okay.
here was a second Stanley.
We were meant to collect it? We can't redo this, can we?
You found this one all on your own, just
God damn
by
it.
poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. but you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Oh, it went up to 7.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini-Stan? Can you remember?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was under the stairs, but what if we get it wrong?
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here,
wrong.
behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing it.
It's very possible to forget.
Let's see, what came next?
Oh.
Yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
What?
Well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened. This was the 5th mini-Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Windows Movie Maker. The clip art. Best boy, the narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
What if we tried to kill ourselves? Oh, there's an invisible wall.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind,
sent 25
perhaps
bits
because
and said,
it was the one
"Azzy."
that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
True.
And then there was no more.
The Mox sent
because
25
we
bits
caught
and
up
said,
to the present
"S
moment.
E."
Nothing left to do but move on
evil
into
jump
the
scare.
future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Hi, Nara.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on.
You're in
Stop
the loading
screen. Is
No.
there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind.
Because it was the
Let's
most
keep going. I want
recent.
more.
Like twice over.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
I do.
Yes, I love that video.
Thank you, narrator.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Oh yeah, good room. Pink has an apple. I think that's a box up there. And one up there as well.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
We're gonna get to collect a version of the one we skipped after all. Are we gonna get to go... No, we don't get to go this way.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Oh. Oh, yes. Please tell me.
Look, it's the terrible
yes.
content that we were originally sold on.
We still have it on left.
Back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
And yet we still can't be given more jumps.
Oh, yes. The two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office.
There sure was.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
The narrator created us?
Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley. Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Right,
Is Stanley?
yeah, we were doing the red door with the buckets.
No, surely not. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him,
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
That was quite the
And here it
diversion.
was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting
There is no room 426.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere
God
else.
damn it, Mike.
The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay, sippy, sippy, sippy. Oh no, I dropped my water. There we go, sippy. But... Oh, there's no way there's enough time left for all the other endings. I could see the next stream being shorter, but yeah. I am not equipped to keep going for another hour or two.
On the wall, you see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, God damn it. So it's not a red door, blue door thing. Both are replaced.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Chat! I need a phone of friends. Chat, is this a bucket? I'm seeing a no. No. No, we've got one yes. We got a maybe. I don't see a maybe button. Most people have said no.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Chat, please! I can't do this without you. You've been right 100% of the time. Oh, we've got a poll. Really depending on this poll here, guys. This poll determines the course of the game. The whole game rests on the shoulders of this poll. If you are not absolutely correct, we could be doomed. Doomed to an eternity of hellfire and brimstone. You have to be right. You cannot steer me wrong in this moment. No pressure. But the human race and the bucket race depend on this decision. It's coming to an end. I hope you have no regrets.
Gurgle for me, Koopa.
He already did, Miko.
Nom.
53% if you say this is not a bucket.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
That's still a bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
You gotta let me know, chat. You gotta let me know. It's absolutely crucial. Just... I'm analysing it from every angle I can. I just can't figure it out without help. You know I'd be lost without you all. Oh gosh. Me being a Vorkut does not change anything. However, it has hidden my view of the pole. Ah, I'm so glad I have you all with me for this. You think this one is a bucket?
Correct. This is a bucket.
Excellent. You're doing great, everyone.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
We're gonna need a poll! Gonna need a poll. I can't... I just cannot figure this out. You're all so good at this. I mean, if you ask me, it does have those bucket rumbles. The rumbles that buckets make. But, like, you guys are the ones who have gotten everyone right so far. Oh gosh, the suspense, the suspense.
Sent 25 bits and said, "Rumble, rumble."
Exactly. Rumble, rumble, just like those buckets. But can things that are not buckets make a rumble, rumble? I don't know. Do any of us know? I hope you do, because you're the one being asked. The collective one of chat. Okay, it's about to end. This is a bucket. I mean, you wouldn't steer me wrong.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an
But
enormous
chat said it's a
machine
bucket.
that tills the earth.
No, it's a bucket.
How on earth did you manage to screw it up?
But it's a bucket.
Incredible.
Chat said so.
Let's just move on to the next one.
Chat, how could you?
Is this a bucket?
Oh, they've got me stumped on this one. Bal, stop pecking and vote. In times like these, we do not need a pecker. We need information, we need knowledge. I need an informant, and that informant is all of you. I'm sorry, Breen, what did you just do?
25 bits and said, "Rumble for me, bucket."
Breen! Breen! How do you misclick a 10-minute timeout? How is that a misclick? Okay, this is a bucket. Okay, good.
This is a bucket.
No elaboration. You do know how to untime out, right? Okay. Rex does. Rex does. Good gosh. Mike, are you okay? Yes, everyone do vote. Is this one a bucket? I'm not sure about this one. It could be a shapeshifter. I'm gonna have to... I'm gonna have to use that insurance policy. You know, you get timed out by one of my mods accidentally and there's a payout. I can't believe I finally have to use it. Good gosh. Good gosh. Oh, what's the poll gonna say? That's not a bucket.
trick question.
What?
Both. Gotcha.
What? God damn it, Mox, that's a really good idea.
I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Ah, Mike, I'm glad you got the correct correction. Wait, no! Is this a bucket?
Ugh, good gosh. Oh, I'm stretching without permission. Ugh, clearly I'm mad with power.
Ooh, ow. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Star Shadow Woe. Ugh, and a hydrate. I don't think I can be timed out. I think I'm too powerful. Coming up Europe the Dragon and all. Okay, what is the poll gonna say? Yep, this is a bucket.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here.
Alas,
and I don't appreciate
alas.
the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
I mean, chat said yes. Chat said yes already, right? This is a bucket.
You know what?
Ah, damn it, I already said yes.
Sorted out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Maybe.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
He's the narrator of Bucket.
To tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Oh, we don't actually get the option.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Everything was a bucket.
Was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Okay. We are surrounded by buckets.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
True. True, true, true. Not a problem, Lena. We're actually finishing up. 26, let it be known. We cannot. The paperwork on the floor? Oh, that one's clipping something fierce.
My tummy. The final frontier.
No, Flicky, you have a premiere soon.
Nom.
Just, there we go. Just in case I need a reference picture. Right. Something very important I'm gonna do. I did it at the start of the stream. I'll do it again. Flicky will have his return to streaming after years away in only a few short hours. Please do join him at the premiere. Follow if you are not followed. Show some love. Wait, what's an oh no? What's oh no? What's happened? What have we done? But yes, follow Flicky. 426. Oh, NFTs, okay. But yes, just had to get that shout out of the way. It will be midnight for me, but I will be tuning in for at least a little bit of it. Gotta. 26 is doing great, I see. Anyway, we have one more stream of this, I think. One more stream, we'll get the rest of the endings, get this wrapped up. Fingers crossed. So, Draken, we're finishing up, but it's good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Next time, I think we will have to jump off the cargo elevator, take the blue door, and then we can take the riding up the cargo lift endings. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I will keep this here because music. Let's thank everyone that needs thanking. I'll be back tomorrow with my very self-indulgent run of Digimon World Next Order. Thank you all for sticking with me through that. I'd like to thank my moderators for helping out. I'd like to thank all of my new followers. I'd like to thank Drayson for the gift sub to Stanley Bucket, whom we could not live without. Thank you to Drayson, Kadia, Rex, Danny and Mox for the bits. And just Carlin for the monumental raid. Thank you so much for sharing your community with me. It is much appreciated. Right, I'm going to go ahead and see what other people are streaming so I can send you into something delightful. And we can make somebody's day. Let's see, let's see, let's see. We have quite a few options. I think in this instance... Oh, so many options, so many options. Let's raid Spiky. It seems he is still doing his first playthrough of Undertale. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Always good fun. In before stream ends, hi Flicky, bye Flicky. As always, ababababas in chat. If you have them, if not, just type abababababa. I will put a link in chat in case the raid doesn't work for you. So if you're stuck here after I stop being live, just click that link right there. Thank you all for joining me, and take care. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Abba.